It is really interesting and really weird visual novel because it's in an aquarium. So basically, what's killing you is like, um, how do you say, uh, jellyfish, maybe, and all kinds of like animals that you can find here. So yeah, um, the sound is really loud. Let me gonna just down everything. Okay, is the sound better now? Alright, get into it. Before she realized it, the girl was standing before it, an imposing door. The girl occasionally came to Manton Aquarium alone to watch the manta rays, watch the jellyfish, and finally she decided it was time to go home. Where is this? She had her doubts, but there should be nothing else there, except for the aquarium. She assured herself that she had probably wandered off onto a side path. The door before her had a large padlock hanging from it, just as she had heard, was unlocked and merely dangling there. Gulp. The girl drew in a breath. Being locked would usually mean that it was a place that she couldn't enter. Being open just meant that a staff member had forgotten to lock it, so going in was out of the question. Her curiosity piqued. She was past the point of persuasion. Her imagination ran wild and her mind raced at the prospect of what might lie beyond the door. Just for a little bit. She opened the door and saw lots of glass tanks. Several types of fish hailing from the deep seas, from football fish and oarfish to pelican eels and barrel eyes were swimming about. Football fish. Why isn't this an exhibit? Thought it over, wondering why it would be in the closed off area. Behind her, the door shut on its own. The girl spaced out, staring at the deep sea fish swimming about. They would leap from the tank and swim in mid-air. The entirety of the room was the fish and their ocean. Though it was a natural occurrence, the girl treated it as quite normal. Wasn't there originally a deep sea fish booth that was shut down? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. She suddenly remembered. At that moment, her surroundings were dyed a deep red. The water in the tanks, the fluorescent light, all of it was red. The girl's vision also became red. When she opened her eyes, the girl was back in her own room. It was well into the night. She couldn't remember how she had gotten home after all that. But more importantly, had a bad feeling about something else. It isn't red here. She became aware of how hard it suddenly was to breathe. No matter how hard she gasped, she was unable to get oxygen to her body. Like the fish who couldn't breathe anywhere but in the water, she couldn't breathe unless she was inside that red color. She was convinced. On impulse, she threw open the window, leaned out and thrust a hand outside. She couldn't inhale the wind flooding her room. She could only smell its milky, unpleasant scent. She becoming a fish. At that moment, the girl's body was tossed into the air. For just a second, her body seemed to float like a fish in the sea. Her room was on the 12th floor of her apartment building. In her fading consciousness, the girl watched her blood flow endlessly from her body. It's red. Only then she could breathe. Now everything would be fine. Uh, The girl smiled. The full moon in the night sky smiled too. Just jumped off a building. Basically, she's drowning while not in the air. While in the air. Drip, drip, the sound of falling drops. The moon was concealed behind the clouds, and all of the lights in the town were covered in water. The sound of it, the only thing left to resonate. She couldn't tell whether it was hot or cold, merely that the humid air was encircling her. Drip, drip. Wherever they were falling to, wherever they were coming from, the drop just continued to trickle out. That single drop. Stopped it with both hands. I stopped it. The sound of that solitary red drop. That's blood. Okay. That was really intense and poetic in a way. Someone just threw herself from a building. Or at least there's an urban legend that goes like that. It's Jimeno. I guess she's a popular girl. Talking about Mountain Aquarium again. That's your new thing, isn't it? While stuffing her lunch into her mouth, Tamagawa Jimeno spoke, her eyes sparkling. I had no idea which point in the story got her so excited. That's right! Isn't it the scariest part? That the girl jumped to her death, smiling, after coming back from Mountain Aquarium. It's pretty bad. Yeah, so that was the intro. And I guess it's something real? Yet you don't seem the least bit scared, Jimeno. That's not true. I've got chills running down my spine. Mm-hmm. Oh, the eyebrows are so expressive. Someone who's got chills running down her spine wouldn't be eating a pastry so cheerfully. Someone... and hey, that's my meatball. During a break in the conversation, Jimena stole a side dish from my box lunch. I scrolled and I got an achievement. This means meat from green calves and little piglets. It's the best. Why do you have to put it like that? Jeez, why do you have to make me lose my appetite? I'll give you the rest of it. Alright, I'll take it. Himino takes the rest of the meatballs from my lunch with amazing rhythm. The reason that I, Nakanobe Mayumi, lost my appetite wasn't because Himino's story scared me. Mountain Aquarium and I are connected in a way that I'd rather not think about. Of course, Himino has no idea about that connection. If she knew, she'd never mention Mountain Aquarium around me again. I guess some of her friend, or maybe her sister died. Or brother. Or something really messed up. At the same time, I've been afraid that this thing might cause Himeno to stop talking to me. Himeno is pretty much my only friend. It isn't that I haven't talked to anyone since entering junior high, just that the only person I can actually call a friend is Himeno. Seriously, I think this whole Mountain Aquarium rumor obsession is getting to be a bit much. Maybe there's so many rumors though, like there's a man's ghost in the tanks, that the deep sea fish booth is only open on the full moon, that the water changes into blood, or that you can hear crying from behind the tank. Ah, that earlier one goes with this one also. No, that's fine. You don't need to say anymore. I say firmly, causing Himeno to make a sour face. Soon after, Himino changes its subject, first to a TV drama that aired the night before, then to some cute fake nails with cats on them she found in a magazine. Then talks about a classmate who was dating a boy from a nearby private school, alighting on one subject before quickly changing to the next. Normally the subject of Mountain Aquarium shouldn't have popped up again. Anyway, getting back to what we were talking about earlier. Huh? What exactly are we getting back to? Mountain Aquarium. I looked into it and this Sunday it will be a full moon. Huh? That was all I could say, the rest of my words unable to come out. So we should go and see if the rumors are true or not. But I know you aren't interested in stuff like urban legends, Mayu. Next week we'll start preparing for the end of the semester and I won't be able to hang out with you. Lately we haven't got anywhere together, have we? So she's a good friend. That's good. It's usually the main characters don't have any friend at all. If the full moon was next Sunday, I'm sure Jimena wouldn't have said anything. But I suspect because it happens to be this Sunday and next week happens to be our exams, she's chosen Mountain Aquarium. I know that I'm not hiding my confusion or my hesitation very well. And so, Jimena turns her carefree grin my way. Since it's an aquarium, even if the rumors aren't true, we can still have fun, right? Well, that's true. Usually anywhere I go with Jimeno, I have fun. Whether or not we'd have fun was not what I was worried about. By the way, Mayu, in the east building of Mountain Aquarium, they have a Häagen-Dazs. As in the eat-in restaurant? They had closed up at one point, but it looks like they're reopening for a limited time. Really? Really, they have the cookies and cream flavors you like too, Mayu. Of course they hesitate, but in the end that settles it. Then we'll go, as long as we definitely get some cookies and cream. Saying you have no money because you did too much shopping is out of the question. I know. After all, I'm something of a glutton myself. Fine, fine. In the end we sent on Mountain Aquarium and ice cream for Sunday. Since I have already received my reward from moving on to the next raid, I don't need to worry about my allowance. Still, it's been 5 years. Did you say something, Mayu? Nope, nothing. I bite my tongue, covering the words that carelessly spilled out. Foreshadowing. The scary stuff starts after, I don't know, I'd say 30 minutes. That's not true. It's the truth, that's the only thing I'll eat here. Yuna goes, you little, as she playfully scratches my cheek. You have the lunchtime sounds, and Himeno goes back to her own seat. If it's with Himeno, I'll be fine. That's what I told myself at the time. Don't worry, it will get really brutal, but first we have to get attached to the characters. I think it's much more HD than the video I watched, or I don't know. It looks good. I like the theme with the green and like seawater green, say turquoise, or maybe I don't know what's the color. I find it calming. Sunday is 3 days after that. The day I promised to go with Himeno to Mountain Aquarium has arrived. We are to meet at noon at the Mountain Show station. As is customary for me, I arrived 30 minutes early. Leaning against a pillar, I do nothing but spell out. Tons of people pass before me. Mountain is really crowded on days off, and so there aren't really that many families or groups of students. Everyone around me appearing to be adults. Because of that, I quickly begin to feel uneasy. Within this crowd, I am alone. Inexplicably, my head begins to hurt. I wonder if Jimeno will be here soon. I mutter to myself, then look at my shoes. Deep blue sandal boots that were this year's newest products. When Mom and I had stopped off at the department store on Saturday. She bought them for me after some coaxing on my part. They were far from what you'd call high quality, but they were still a bit pricey on a junior high schooler's allowance. I'm not usually the type to beg, but I couldn't take my eyes off of these boots. My mom bought them with almost no resistance, saying, "You're going out of town, so you need to look your best. And you see it's blue, so it's like foreshadowing with water." I like both their form and their color, and found them a better fit for the summer season than anything else. I take my cell phone and check the time. There are still 15 minutes to go until we're to meet. Since Himeno is always 3 minutes later than the time we establish, I've got another 20 minutes. I finished reading my paperback on the train, so I have nothing to kill time with. There's nothing I can do about it, so I decide to keep myself from boredom by watching the people passing by. If I don't keep myself distracted, horrible thoughts will revive in my mind. Jesus, what's gonna happen in the aquarium? I'm always worrying about what will happen if I'm late, though. It had actually been a month and a half since Himeno and I had gone out. We always talked at school, but rarely spent time together afterward. Anyone who saw us probably thought we were opposites. Outing like this aside, I often spends my days off at home. When I was in elementary school, our family would go out often, but lately that's been limited to dining out on Saturdays. So when I'm asked what I do when I stay at home, I usually just say I do nothing. Doing homework and watching TV is stuff that seems pretty common to me. The other end of the spectrum is Himeno, who goes out regularly. Often hear stories of when she went to karaoke on weeknights or about how she traveled out of town on Sundays. She's a member of an active sports club and often wants to hang out with them afterwards. Going out of town on the already limited days we have off. Oh, sorry. Going out of town on the limited days we have off tends to make me think. Even though it's a day to rest, I don't feel rested at all. In other words, something like this is the difference between Himeno and I. We found much common ground between us. Why we became friends is. What? Suddenly the light fades from my vision. It wasn't just that it had become dark, but that I had a sensation of being unable to breathe. But rather than sweating it, I get a little mad. She just covered up her eyes, I guess. Hahaha, sorry. Hearing my wordless protest, Himeno pulled her hands away. I get playing the Who Am I game while covering someone's eyes. But covering up Samura's mouth was just like Himeno. When I puff out my cheeks and object, Himeno just smiles at me. Because you were staring into space, Mayu. Oh. Instead of apologizing, Himeno blew on the nape of my neck. But thinking, I made a weird sound. Embarrassed, I looked around 2 or 3 times, but the pedestrians walking by seemed unperturbed and didn't look our way. The culprit who had surprised me moved in front of me before I realized it. You're mean, Himeno. Hahaha, but I got to hear something good. No, you didn't. Moreover, As I said it, I checked the time on my smartphone. It's 3 minutes to noon. Our agreed upon meeting time. So she was really on time. It's not time yet, how rare. That's rude, jeez. I'll make you make a weird noise again. Saying that, Himeno opened and closes her fingers in small, swift grasping motion. At a time like this, I know I had better change the subject or get messed with by Himeno again. Oh, by the way, did you buy a new one? You mean my necktie? Yes, I did. I should get one to match my shorts. You and I haven't hung out since our midterms, Mayu. If I buy something today, I'll be really out of money. What about the aquarium? You're still set on finding out about the urban legends then? Of course, that's my #1 goal. But as usual, I can't count the thing I want to do on just one hand. Okay, I get it. As long as I eat cookies and cream. That is absolute. I haven't forgotten. Anyway, Mayu, aren't your sandals new? Himeno says as she looked at my feet, talking about 3 times as fast as she does in class. Yeah, I can't speak fast English. Yeah, nice, aren't they? They're super cute. How cool, I want a pair too. Nope, then we'll be too similar. And these are the only pair of sandals I have for the summer. Talking like this, it put me at ease. Unlike myself, who is childish, Himeno knows a lot about fashion and trends. Even here in Mountain, it seems like she blends in. Most importantly, by being my Himeno and constantly chatting, I no longer feel lonely. Oh yeah, Himeno, why did you bring such a huge bag? Glad you asked. With a hee-hee, Himeno opens the Boston bag she had let sink down from her shoulder. A variety of things come out, such as a flashlight, insect repellent, a simple blanket, a first aid kit, matches, and snacks like chocolate and cookies. I'm sorry, but why would you need an insect repellent in an aquarium? Like, that's the last thing there could be, right? The rest I can understand. What is all this? Himeno, where do you plan on going? Ignoring the twitch developing in my face, Himeno thumps her chest. Geez, to the aquarium. But since we're investigating urban legends, should at least have some supplies. Rather than an investigation, the equipment she has reminds me more of going camping in the mountains. Right. Snacks and blanket aside, where in the city this size would we need insect repellent or a flashlight? I kept those feelings to myself and just smiled. I let out a breath that is half exasperated, half amused. I don't get sick of being with Himeno. Whether Himeno is aware of my exasperated side, gaze or not, I need to drink. Okay. I haven't advertised my stream. Okay. She starts to take something out, then quickly shoves it back in. She gives me a smiling, playing some secret. Ah, no wait. It's too soon for you to see that. Ah, what were you about to pull out? I'm not telling. Upon saying that, Himeno quickly closes the bag. The way I see it, it is a wonder she fit all of the supplies she had out just a moment ago. I wonder where it's all being stored. By the way, no club today? I asked with the underlying question of whether or not today is the day off for the club. At my question, Himeno averts her eyes. Nope, probably no club today. Really? Giving a brief answer, I start working. Upon hearing her reply, I immediately understand it as she skipped it again. But not wanting to ruin the merry mood, I merely quicken my pace. I'm not in any clubs, but even I know it's not good to skip. Speaking honestly, I want her to show up for her club, as she seems to be respected even by students from other schools. Coming here together like this makes me equally guilty though. Once I get thinking, I don't usually stop, so the conversation shifts to a ramen shop that catches my eye. Oh, Mayu, do you wanna get lunch? You caught that? Damn, reading a visual novel is actually really long. I can't imagine going through Face Day night. Feeling I've As if she had seen right through me, we head into a nearby coffee shop. It is apparently famous following its coverage in a magazine for a sandwich that was overflowing with vegetables. I say apparently because on excitedly finding the restaurant, Himno shared this. Compared to a hamburger shop, this place is a bit intimidating and trendy to me. But since I'm with Himeno, it doesn't bother me. Shoving the roast chicken sandwich with extra olive that I ordered into my mouth, the knees I have been feeling. Okay. I might have a microphone problem. My headset just ran out of battery. But yeah, let's keep going, and I think I stopped like 15 minutes or something. Back to the sandwich. In contrast to my fervor, Himino eats her avocado and shrimp sandwich in small bites. Damn, that's so hip and trendy. Was that already that in like 2011, or I don't know when this game came out, but that seems like the kind of recent trend to eat avocado and shrimp. I mean, in Sweden. I don't know what it is in other countries. Well then, about our plan for today. Mina starts in as soon as we have finished eating. We'll start with the aquarium, no matter what, that's the main thing, so we'll the deep, the old man's ghost and the closed of deep sea fish booth rumors. After that we'll go to the shops and finally have some ice cream. I think it's better to get the cookies and cream first. If you eat 2 times you'll mess up your stomach and get fat. You won't be able to wear a bathing suit. Wait, what? Yeah. Oh, Jimeno, it's not fair to you to put it that way. It isn't fair. Jimeno is in the exercise club, so she will be fine, but for someone like me who doesn't exercise enough, let me stop and think. He said I wanted to go to the pool. It's... Okay, then we'll stick with my plan. That was a delicious meal. But she's not gonna get her cookies and cream. That's the real horror. Sad. Urged by Jimeno, I decide to leave the ice cream shop for another time. Talking about silly things together, we leave the station behind. As opposed to the station's excellent cooling system, the city streets have a peculiar humidity and heat to them that envelopes our bodies. The beginning of July, summer has only begun and I can already tell it's going to be a tough one. We weave our way through the crowds until we were 10 minutes away from the station, finally ending up in the front of a skyscraper. Building is a symbol for the people of Manten. Combined facility for commerce, what you might call a fashion building in reference to the businesses it contains. Manten is a town known as a place people can go for amusement. If you really want to have a good time, they have a movie theater, arcades, and several shops. So you need to have money. Because of that, young men and women are more numerous than boys and girls. Shit.
scans the panels for each floor without fear. Yeah, I'm back. I had a power outage and yeah. What can I say? Just cut the internet and all that. But it's back. People are concentrated around the panels. Of little help to Himeno and trying to take up as little space as possible. I leave the search to her and gaze up at the building. I look up and up, but the top of the building is so far I think my neck will snap. That's magnificent. This building was built not long after I was born. It has been finished before I could walk. The first and only time I came here was in elementary school. The instant I think back on my first visit, my head begins to hurt. Oh god. Oh god. No, I have to try not to think about it. Those are things from long ago, things from the past, things that are done. I can do nothing but deal with the pain that feels as if it's something is pressing against the inside of my skull. I finally hear Himeno calling me in a loud voice. The elevator's this way, come on! I push away my headache and step through the automatic door. The information at the entrance and the placement of the crane game are exactly the same as that day, giving me a slightly bad feeling. Oh, wait, let's just turn the volume up. No, I skipped the... Oh no. I can't... Oh shit, I skipped the opening. Uh, well, maybe next time I'll try to get the opening. It's pretty good. Uh, like its credits and all that. Well, sorry for that. Okay, never mind. From the elevator landing, we need to head for the top floor of the separate Mountain East building. The elevator is the type that has a glass window so you can see out. That is the only thing that's distracting me from my gloom. A crowd of people get on with us, but almost all of them are gone by the time we reach the floor that contains the aquarium. They probably stopped off at the apparel or sunrise shops. It isn't that we aren't interested, but Himeno recommends. It's crowded now, so let's come back when it's less busy. And that keeps us back, deciding to stick with the plans we made back at the coffee shop. Oh, I remember this. The atmosphere. Stepping onto our floor, the atmosphere immediately switches to a lively one. The sounds of chatter are drowned out by the roar of a large fan. The lighting is dim and tint is slightly blue. The windows are also covered, giving the feeling that it has suddenly become night. As this is an aquarium, it makes sense that the concept is based around the ocean. Yes, the pungent smell of salt is a major change. Amazing, it's like we dived into the deep sea. That's what I thought too. Instead of being targeted at families, lately it seems more like a date spot for adults. Or at least that's what the magazine says, but it's true. Even though this is my second time coming here, it feels like the first time. Next to the entrance is the souvenir shop, though it lacks the usual boisterous voice. Boisterous? What does that mean? Give me a sec. Okay, well, new word. It appears to be a place that can be reached both from the inside and outside, but it doesn't seem to get many customers. Just as Himeno had said, the aquarium seems to target adults. In an atmosphere like that, even Himeno looks nervous. I mean, everyone is scared of the deep sea, and being in the middle of that can be a bit heavy. Hey, Mayu, what's up? I forgot to tell you one important thing. Oh, maybe that was the wrong information. Himino makes a mysterious face and brings her mouth up to my ear. What? Did you drop your wallet or something? He's gonna go to the toilet. No, that's not it. There's something I heard that's a bit of an urban legend. They say the amount of people going missing is on the rise. There's a rumor that this month alone the number missing is well into the double digits. Huh? Have this conversation in front of the metal rack that holds the map of the aquarium. Aside from the map, there is a guide to Mountain East Building and information about affiliated hotels. During that time, we hear the sound of the elevator opening and closing, but we do not see the people going into the aquarium. Mountain used to be a shopping district. That seems to be why. Mountain used to be a shopping district, right? That seems to be why, even there's were a lot of runaways, the media wouldn't pay much attention. But supposedly many of the missing persons has stopped off at Mountain Aquarium. Maybe they should just leave. That rumor, who did you hear it from? Indeed, no one in particular. You know how rumors spread? At Himeno's words, I feel a cold shiver along my spine. Regardless of how credible the rumor is, a sense of dread shoots through me. Considering my past, it's natural that I would feel connected to missing persons in my age range, especially if they were runaways. If that is the case, it would send chills along the back of my neck. Why on earth? You could have told me before this. Well, I thought if you heard about it, you might not have wanted to come. Oh, so you forgetting to tell me was a lie, then, you little... I had intended to protest firmly, but it still ended rather anticlimactically. Ghosts may exist, and they still unable to come back, but that doesn't mean I'm interested in visiting places where they are. This is proof that Himino has her own strange interests. Yet it still makes me feel even more worried. This rumor has a continuation. Specifically, people who saw the deep sea fish booth never came home. Relays those two pieces of information that frightened me with a smile. The rumor itself aside, she wanted to pass over the question of why people were able to see the closed deep sea fish booth. In the first place, not wanting to discuss it at all. Wait a minute, Himeno. Something else is tied in beneath that fear. Something about the aquarium and the missing persons who didn't come home. That was essentially... Uh-huh. Are you okay, man? Sorry, I guess I scared you a bit too much. I think this story is pretty exaggerated, so don't worry about it. I heard it's a fun aquarium, so don't worry about it. Uh, yeah, I read the line twice. I think we should take those stories with a grain of salt, right? Though her kindness is misdirected, its kindness just the same. Having involuntarily sat down, I take the hand Himno extends to me. As I slowly rise to my feet, I respond, "Yeah, you're right." To think that I will hear of a connection to my precious memory in a place like this. It's strange, after 5 years the memories should have faded. I tell myself this, then let out a small sigh. Even though he's actually showing concern, so I sit down on a bench in a rest area next to the souvenir shop. Himno even brings me a can of cocoa. As I'm drinking it, she buys our tickets. With her doing all of this, I have to go with her. Are you okay, miss? The fact that I'm thinking thoughts like this canned cocoa is a little weak is proof that I'm cooling down. As I'm starting to feel better, a male voice calls out to me. While holding my half-finished cocoa, I turn in the direction the voice came from. Rather than the boy's voice I expect, it belongs to an adult, so I respond timidly. Am I okay? So, no need to be so vigilant. He's wearing a grey knit cap and a brown running shirt. He's tall even for a guy, so I have to look up at him. His build is almost all muscle, and my shoulders shudder a bit in surprise. He appears well over the age of 20, so I can't think of a reason he would want to talk to us. That's a style. Whether he realizes I'm looking up at him or not, he plunks down right next to me. Even after he sits down, we aren't sitting at the same height. Pretending to fix my posture, I move away from him a little. Are you not feeling well? I'm fine, really. Thanks to my nerve and my wariness, I end up speaking unnaturally fast. Moreover, if he really is a kind person, I might end up abusing his good intentions. How cold. Ah, it figures. I say again without thinking, without my knowing what he's so happy about. The man's mouth loosens into a grin. You're pretty clever. I give up. But you know, I'm seriously am worried about you. Your face is pale and all. That's his kind words taking me by surprise. I inadvertently avert my eyes. For some reason, I strangely become embarrassed and begin tapping my index finger on my can of cocoa. Well, that aside, since you came to have fun, let me show you around. So he's just a guide. You're really just fine. Yeah. The words come out so naturally they surprise even me. I have now become a complete idiot, and my eyes meet his. I work part-time in this building, so I'm familiar with it. In this area, that is. Hey, what are you doing? No. I guess then look up. Mino is there carrying 2 tickets and some pamphlets. Her hands on her hips and her cheeks puffed out. Mino glares at the man with narrowed eyes. I think the only one allowed to hit on junior high schoolers would be high schoolers. No, I'm not trying to hit on anyone. This girl just looked unwell, is all. Hey, what happened? Was it hitting on someone? Both answers are like, I think it was what you'd call hitting on someone. I think it was what you'd call hitting on someone. Yeah. You're the worst. Himina pulls my arm with a jerk, pulling me backwards, then she inserts herself between the man and I. He clearly looks like an employee. Hey, mister. Himina mutters, facing the man's chest. On hearing her say mister and giving me a puzzled look, the man shows us the plastic name tag hanging from his neck. Oh, I must have forgotten to take this off. Himino, speaking of which, did say he works part-time in this building. Oh, then is that his entry card or something? He slaps his knees and rises to his feet. He probably played some kind of sports or something because the movement as he stands is so effortless. I'm back. Yeah, so that's Kenji. And he's not suspicious at all. Like, literally, he's just an employee working here. Or? He's not a guide, though. Is it a company employee discount? Something like that. I'm not exactly a company employee, but I get in at half off anyway. So I come here often. Really? That's quite unexpected for you, mister. When you become older, you'll crave these soothing experiences as well. True. And I'm not old enough to be a mister. Now he says it. Compared to us, you're definitely old enough to be a mister. She said, grimaces angrily, then sniffs in a self-deprecating manner. He appears to be a little older than a college student, so calling him old enough to be a mister is probably rude. But Himeno only said the impression he gave was pretty close. With the aquarium as a shared point of interest, Himeno's attitude towards Hiyoshi-san softened. As proof, Himeno talks with Hiyoshi-san about the shops in this building. I don't really know a lot about brands, so I sip my remaining cocoa and listen from the outside. My iced cocoa had become lukewarm cocoa. Well, mister, are you also well versed in urban legends? Uh-oh. On hearing Himeno's question, my head pops up in surprise. The corners of Hiyoshi-san's mouth lift into a grin. Um, yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna keep going that long. Um, since maybe we want to start with the horror and like once we start to get into the real thing, then we do want to stream longer. I can't stream for that long, so I think we're gonna stop here. Um, yeah, I think it's gonna turn really bad real soon. I mean, it's usually like that. But yeah, I already watched the gameplay, so yeah, I'm not spoiling, but it's pretty obvious. But I hope you're also interested in all the mystery because it's pretty well done. It's not hiding everything, like we know from the beginning that something happened and that it's something close to her, and it's certainly someone that died or disappeared. And I think the characters are pretty likable and yeah, not they're cliched, but not too cliched, which is pretty good. Um, I mean, if you compare this to Corpse Party or other things where all characters are really extreme, this seems pretty normal persons. Anyway, yeah, this will be probably on YouTube if you want to catch up later, and I hope you'll watch the next part, which will be horror. Yeah, see you.